Hello, everybody. My name is Ari with FitProVR, and welcome to the VR Fitness Summit in 2025. For today, I've got a true fitness legend with me. He's the man who brought the world Taibbo, sold millions of tapes back when tapes were a thing, and quite literally got people off their couches and into their power. And now he's stepping into a new chapter with Tae Bo Reboot, a VR game aiming to bring that same energy into the digital space. Billy, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you for joining me.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you so
Um,
much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. No, the opportunity is all on me. So, I'd like to just, if it's okay, just get started with a couple questions for you, because I mean we're here to talk, and I got some questions. So,
Yeah, let's
my
go for it.
my first question is that you said that Taibo was born from a desire to unify mind, body, and spirit. Was
Hmm.
there a specific moment, event, or frustration in your life that made you realize that the fitness industry was missing that connection?
Well, yeah, I think one of the most important things to me when I came out with Taibo, I wanted to get more women involved with martial arts because back in the days when I started martial arts, women weren't allowed to even spar. They weren't even allowed to put on, come to a competition and think about even throwing their fists and things, And so I said one day, I want to be able to create an exercise that women can do karate, they can do boxing, they can do a little calisthenics, they do a little bit of everything. And so when that day came, it was like, okay, I'm gonna. At first, when I used it, the word Taibo, I didn't use Taibo first. I used the word aerobics because
Ooh.
took karate from aerobics. So I said, let me bring that together and call it
Mm.
aerobics. So that was the first thing that I did. And as I did it, I got a chance to try it out on the United States karate team.
Oh,
I
nice.
asked my coach, I said, hey, coach, can you think I can show the guys, how to kick and punch to the music? Because cardiovascular wise, I thought it
Sure.
would help them out too. When I
Absolutely.
first started, I was a kid who had a learning disorder. And having a learning disorder, I didn't get a chance to play sports. I got 10 brothers and 5 sisters, right? And all my brothers were good athletes, and I was the only one out of the boys that was not a good athlete because I was shy.
Mm.
I was a little intimidated about reading the plays because I couldn't understand what I was looking at. And
Right.
so, karate was something that gave me that confidence. And so I just said,
Mm.
hey, I know there's a lot of people out there like me that want to get in shape. They want to do martial arts. Why don't I
Yeah.
put why don't I put a fun way together to do martial arts? And
A- yeah, absolutely. And like you said, you were dealing with a learning disability, and I believe you said dyslexia in some of your bios.
dyslexia.
Correct. And then I again doing some research, I read that you have a hip joint anomaly too. Now, when these are two things that really, like, if the average person, it could have ended their athletic dreams before they even started. Do you like remember the first time that you like felt powerful despite those obstacles?
Yeah, I can remember I was 13 years old.
Mm,
I actually started karate when I was 11 years old.
mm,
But when I went to the youth center and talked to this instructor, he says, "Okay, I want to show you how to throw a side kick." And I had a hard time, learning how to do a side kick because of my hips. I had a
mm,
bad hip. I was born with a hip joint that didn't really grow in right. And they told my mother I'd never be able to stretch. I'll never be able to do anything. So all I did was kept coming to class. My instructor, having dyslexia, my instructor said, if you want to get in the back, you want to try to follow, you can go ahead and follow, but I don't have time to really spin with you because I have other kids in the class. So I
right.
said, okay. So I just got in the back, and everything that he did, I tried to copy and learn it, And at the same
Awesome.
time that I was doing that, all of a sudden, a light switch came on. I started realizing that, one, I need to learn how to stretch better. My instructor at that time, he didn't even think about flexibility. And so I started stretching when I turned about 25, 26 years old. I got offered to do a ballet, play in a ballet called the Nutcracker,
Oh,
right?
nice,
And
nice.
I never studied ballet before in my life, right? But I started, working with this Russian ballet teacher, and she said, "Would you like to play the Russian dance in the Nutcracker?" And so through that, that's how I learned how to do ballet. It gave me
Right.
the flexibility. And so in my martial arts training, when I turned 13, I learned how to throw my first side kick. When I learned how to throw my first side kick, it that right there gave me confidence. And when I, because you know, to do a side kick and with the hip structure that I have was very hard.
Wow. Yeah, and a lot of people will, including us, will giggle with when people say like they do ballet and stuff. I studied like I'm a physical education teacher, and when I was in college, I had to take ballet in college because like it's hard. Like it's ridiculously hard to learn that. It's a workout. And some of my best students at my school are ballet dancers and cheerleaders, and they come from sports that you wouldn't know. And that's why I think it's interesting that you mentioned you wanted to like tailor Taibbo for women's fitness, because whether the martial arts world saw it or not, women have been doing fitness probably longer than men have. With dance and all sorts of different. There's a lot of different cultural activities that people do. I think it's really interesting that ballet was kind of that segue into your aerobics and then into Taibbo, which then gives back to different communities, which is I think is awesome.
You know, when I studied ballet, what ballet did for me too was taught me how to count music. I didn't know how to count music, you know, because a lot of people put on music in the background when they did martial arts, but they never moved to the music. They never moved to the beat. But when I learned how to do an 8 count, I learned that from ballet. And once I learned how to do that 8 count, then I said, you know what? I'm going to create an exercise. I know women love karate and they love judo. They love martial arts. I said, I'm going to put something together so they can come to an exercising program, learn how to protect himself, and get in shape at the same time. And that was something that I really wanted to do, because I have 5 sisters, and I wanted my sisters to all protect themselves. I lived in a bad neighborhood. Hey, I lived in a bad neighborhood, and so in our neighborhood, you had to protect yourself.
Absolutely. I have a daughter. She's 4, and we all my friends are always asking like, "Are you going to sign up for dance?" I was like, "No, she's doing jujitsu. Like,
Oh,
she
that's
needs to be able
cool.
to X choke somebody if they get too handsy." So
Yeah.
it's an important part of martial arts for sure. So going from aerobics to Taibo and then transitioning that into a business, you've spoken about how God is your business partner. Was there ever a
Hmm.
time you felt that partnership was being tested, and how did you handle that spiritual disconnect?
Well, it's been tested all the time. You know,
Sure.
just with Taibo, you know, being a teacher and being a person. You know, I love God. I love Jesus Christ as Lord of my life, and
Mm,
you know, things always come around and want to test you, and it's up to me to keep my faith right and keep myself doing the right thing. And I just things that I think that was not right, I just didn't do, and things that I
yeah.
did think was right, I did. You know, and
Yeah.
one way to help me is I wanted to see if it lined up with what I believed in. If it didn't
Yeah, your
line up with what I
values.
believed in, then I said,
Yeah.
okay, I pushed that to the side.
That's
You know?
awesome. That's
So
that's great. Okay, so I'm going to take you way back, okay? So you
yeah.
got your first break in film by training Catherine Bach and then ended up in Driving Force in the Philippines?
Well, I ended up getting my first break with Leo Fong
Okay. Okay.
in a movie called Low Blow. It was a martial arts movie. Yeah, it was
Okay.
with
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay. I stand corrected. So,
That was
but
my first break.
oh, my apologies. What did that moment teach you about like how chaotic and random like the Hollywood door can be it Driving Force or your first break into movies, which I've already forgot because if we're talking dyslexia, I have ADHD, so you're gonna hear me forget a lot today. So,
Right.
again, my question was, what did that moment of like breaking into Hollywood teach you about how chaotic and random that business can be?
Well, when I first got a chance to work with Captain Bach, it was
Mhm.
through a gentleman named Rick Weber. He played on General Hospital. He played a doctor on General Hospital, and
Mhm.
he was doing something in Arizona, and he asked me if I wanted to go help the kids at the Indian reservation. I said, sure, I would love to go teach karate to them, and so I
Mhm.
did. I went there and I started teaching, and as I was finishing up a class, Catherine Bach was coming through, and when she was coming through, she knew who I was, and she wanted to know if I could do bodyguard work. I said,
Mm.
yeah, let me talk to my coach to see if I have to defend our title. And if I didn't have to do anything with martial arts, then I would go. And she says, well, I would like for you to go to the Philippines and be my bodyguard and trainer. I said, wow, that for me, that's when I went there. I went there for to become her bodyguard and trainer. And then
Huh.
as I was there, uh, opportunity came up. You know, they had a black gentleman that was hired to do a part in the movie, and then something happened where he had to leave, and so they said, Mr. Blanks, would you like to take this part? I was like, what? I said, I would love to be have that part in the movie. But so that was my first kickstart. If you say, being around Hollywood people, that was my first time getting an opportunity to be around Hollywood people because Catherine Block. Through that, Catherine said, Billy, you know what? I think you should move to California. I think you can really have a good career and you can help a lot of people. She saw
Mm,
that when I was training her, I had her in the best shape of her life, right? And my thing was not about her body; it was about more changing from the inside out. And I said, look, if
right.
you give me a chance to train your mind and will, watch and see what happens to your body. I guarantee you, your body will look just like what you say. I always tell people to say this out loud. I look and act just like my mind and will. Because it's a powerful statement. I look and act just like my mind and will. And people say it, and then I say it like this. I look and act just like my body. That's how most people are. They look and act like what they see in the mirror. They look and act like what life gives them. And my thing is, life can come at me, but if I stay focused, I can take life and put it in its place, right? And that's to me, that's the goal, especially with young people. When you can
Mhm.
teach young people that they have a mind, they have a will, man, you can get them to do so many more things with their life.
Absolutely. And I think that's a big part about today is, the world obviously has changed quite a bit. We're here talking about VR, but I think VR has its kind of beauty because yeah, it's a screen, yeah, it's on your face, but you have to move around. You actually have to do something. You can't just like sit on the couch and, do nothing. It's a detriment to a lot of kids is like just being kind of phone zombies and screen zombies. And back a few years ago, I was talking to a colleague of mine. I'm here in Philly and I'm talking to this older gentleman, and I asked, like, he asked me, he's like, why are the kids so big today? Like, why are the kids just so big? I'm sorry, I asked him that, and he's like, because the phone killed double dutch. And he went
Mm,
into the spiel about how back in the day in Philly, you would go outside and everyone would be doing double dutch. They would be spending their evenings double dutch, double dutch. They're working out, they're exercising, they're doing aerobics, they're doing jump aerobics.
right.
And now the kids can't do double dutch. You can't just go up to the average kid and do double dutch. Now it's just like they're on their phone, they're scroll, and it's kind of sad that that's what the world has come to, especially for kids.
I think it's so sad too because kids don't know how to communicate with their own body. And through fitness, I believe that's what helped me out as a young person. I got a chance to learn how to communicate with my own body, understand what my body could do. And then it gave me the power to know that, man, if I can control my body, I can do anything in life.
So Taibo wasn't just a workout. Like back in the day, like everyone knew Taibo. Everyone still knows Taibo. It
Right.
was like a movement. And what's something about the early Taibo days before it blew up that no one outside the studio would have believed, outside of the name being Aerobics, because that's still mind blowing to me. Like, what's
Hmm.
something that you could tell us today that nobody knows really about Taibo?
Well, what I think what people didn't realize that when I first came out with Taibo, even though it was a martial arts, I call it a modern day martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like MMA, right? It's a modern day gladiator type of fighting, right? So when I came out with Taibo, my goal was to be able to take the traditional style of martial arts and put it together and create something that the whole world, even grandmothers, not just certain people would do it. But my goal was to be able to get grandmothers, athletes, grandfathers, everybody together into one room. When you came into my studio, that's what you saw. You saw Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, a grandmother, a child. You saw them all in the room doing one thing, all helping themselves be the best they can be and learning how to do fitness in the way that they need to learn how to do it. My thing was, I'm not going to lie to you about fitness. I'm going to tell you
Sure.
the truth. Fitness
Yeah.
is hard work. You have a mind, you have a will, then Taibbo will be the exercise that'll help you be the best you can be. And people heard it. People heard it and they went, "Wow!" And people saw that when they looked at me and saw me on TV, they looked in my eyes and they saw my heart. And when I talk to people, I told them the truth. I didn't say, "You know what, do this and do that, and you'll be in shape in 2 weeks."
Yeah,
No.
so many trainers, like I guess you could say like celebrity trainers, will still try to put out things that are just, it's obviously canned, but at its peak, Taibo was on over 10 million VHS tapes. Now, speaking of like having like like Shaquille O'Neal and Magic Johnson and like that's celebrity stain. That's fitness guru territory, like that's pop culture figure territory.
Mhm.
Does knowing or acknowledging that you're a fitness guru or a pop culture figure, does that mess with your identity at all as just like an average person? Like, you're
No,
not average, obviously. Yeah.
but but you know what? For me, I have something bigger than Taibbo. That's God, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
so it keeps me stable. I got an opportunity to work out with probably most of the Hollywood people in Hollywood. Everybody
Mm,
came to my studio. They knew that that was the place to come to get in good shape. I remember training Sinbad. He was the guy who really actually went out there and started. Hey man, you want to get in shape? You better go work out with that dude named Billy Blanks. He'll help you get you where you
solid
need to be.
Sinbad
Right,
impression, actually.
right, right. So no, me having an opportunity to do that, it didn't make me change and make me any different than what I was. All I did
Right.
was say, hey, you know what? I stayed grounded. I came up with an exercise. Could you imagine? Because I was a kid
Mm,
who had dyslexia, couldn't even read. I couldn't even put a word together, right?
right.
But I created a word that's in the dictionary. Who would ever think? And I always tell kids, there are kids out there just like me that can do what I do, but they haven't had that opportunity yet. And some of them are living in doubt and fear. So if you teach them and show them, you know what? If you focus and you did this, watch and see what happens to your life. And see, that's what happened to me. Who would ever think I
Yeah.
would create a word?
Yeah.
Who would
It
ever?
keeps you
And
grounded.
right, and the word
Yeah.
revolution it revolutionized the whole fitness world. Who would ever think that would happen?
Absolutely.
You know, Taibbo came out of the basement in the projects on 38th Street. I always tell people,
That's where I am right now, in a basement in the projects on
right,
29th Street, actually.
serious man. That's where Taibbo came from. Who would ever think it would go throughout the world and go through all these countries?
That's
That's
wild.
to me, it's like amazing. It's a blessing.
Now you've had to reinvent yourself across these decades. You've been martial artist, you've been actor, trainer, businessman, father. Which out of those, like even ones I didn't list, what role challenged you the most?
Well, I think all of them.
Yeah.
Every one of them. When I come in the house, I'm a husband and I'm a dad, right? I don't bring
Right.
karate in the house. I don't bring Taibo in the house. That stays out there in the gym, right? But
Right.
I believe that they all challenge me in the right way.
Sure.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think any one of them challenged me more than the other. I think they all came out the same. And
Right.
I believe that's what made me have peace and kept me
Right.
balanced.
A balance. Yeah.
Right. It kept me balanced.
Wow.
Even though I
Now,
love, even though I love training, I do love. I mean, I could work out when I was fighting. I was
yeah.
working out 8 hours a day, but then I
Yeah.
was also being a husband and a dad too. So
For
I
sure.
made sure I made sure I took care of that part as well as the part that I needed to do to become the fighter that I wanted to become and to become the Taekwondo instructor that I wanted to become. You just got to work at it.
Right. Well, you're lucky because like as soon as I walk in the door, my son's like, "I want to fight. Let's fight." And we wrestle. I mean, because I've been doing jujitsu for a while. He's about his third year into jujitsu, and man, all he wants to do is just like, "Show me this, show me that. I saw this on YouTube. Show me how to do this." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I
And so
think that's cool.
it's fun.
I think
Well,
that's cool.
well, you know why, and you can probably like relate to this. Is like I signed my son Charlie up for jujitsu because not only like it's my legacy too, like that's my background, but he's the biggest nerd in the world. Like he's the biggest nerd, and I need him. Like if someone messes with him to be able to defend himself. Same with my daughter as she gets older. So like I think that's where Taibo like kind of finds its place is like you can do it in your home. You don't nobody has to watch you. You don't have to feel embarrassed about it, and you never should anyway. Like being in the fitness, like doing fitness, you should never be embarrassed. So, um, and I think that's really cool about having to keep that balance. I want to kind of segue here though. There is a bearded man in the room with us right now that I haven't even mentioned who he is. Mickael, would you introduce yourself so people don't think you're just like some rando who just showed up on the stream on accident?
Well, hello, Harry. Nice to see you. As always, Billy. Yeah, my name is Michael, and I'm the CEO of XPR Labs. And XPR Labs is a VR development studio that once upon a time stumbled upon Billy Blanks at a martial arts convention and had the idea to reboot the workout that I had loved, just like you, so many years before, and bring it to that new medium for a new generation. So Billy, being a fitness innovator, he was looking for his next new thing, and I would say we connected just at the right time and got to work. Now I want to share something, Harry, that nobody knows about that. Is once we agreed we would do this, I went dark, I went black, I went hidden, and started doing 18 first versions of the game because I really wanted him to stamp and authorize this thing, right? So I flew to LA and I brought the headset and I said, Billy, you're going to look at your game. And so he was wearing his socks in the kitchen and he started playing. He had so much fun. It was honestly, he said, wow, this is amazing. Can I do another level? Can I do another level? And in my mind, I was like, yes, we're going to be doing this.
And
and,
I was
and after that, yeah, and he was sweating. I made Billy Blank sweat. Can you imagine that?
Bro.
serious, man.
Right. So I knew that was the start of a great collaboration, and we've done a lot of things together since then. And the game is ready and about to hit the market everywhere now. So
That's awesome. At this point, when you tried Taibbo Reboot, or at least whatever early version of it that Mickael showed you, what was the moment where you were like, "This might be bigger than what I did in the '90s," or like, what was that feeling for you?
Well, the moment I put it in my head, and all of a sudden the game came on, and I start seeing hand pads come at me. I mean, and then I start, moving like a boxer, right? Start throwing punches, like just like I felt like I was in the gym, and the trainer was going 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I said, "Oh my, this is gonna be great. I think kids are gonna love this game. It's gonna be a game where it's gonna give kids a chance to not just sit down and play, because most games they sit down and they play." But this game, they got to get up and they got to be active and they got to do footwork. They got to do a little bit of everything. They don't get a chance to be the warrior that they want to be and compete against themselves. That to me is really an awesome tool.
For sure,
I,
absolutely.
I wish I had that when I was a kid growing up.
I can't even tell you how many times I said that when I do VR stuff. I'm just like, "Ah, my son is in here. He's 10 years old. He's playing. He's killing zombies and knights and doing all sorts of stuff." I'm like, I could have done. I want to do that. But no, I totally agree with you that how it would have changed the game is crazy. So, okay, this was the question we missed. Was, do you think that VR fitness could be the ingredient to get people who don't like working? Because we always meet people who just are like, I don't like working out, and I'm sure you've met plenty of people like that in your time teaching. Do you think VR fitness might be just another way to get people who don't like fitness into fitness? Like, what's the ingredient? What's the secret ingredient behind that? I'm
Well,
sure you've done it for plenty. Yeah.
I don't think I know it will. Why? Because people can do it in their own privacy of their own home. They can actually
Mm.
take like I said, even though you take the glasses and put them on, it's like taking your gym and putting it on your face, and then you walk into the gym and say, "Okay, I want to practice my left jab today." Nobody's there, where you feel embarrassed. You can get out there, you can make moves and get confidence in, and then you hear me on the background. Okay, do it a little bit harder. Move to the left. Watch this. Watch out for this. Keep your hands up. You're not punching hard enough. Do it a
Right.
little more. So, with me communicating with whoever's playing the game, it's going to make them want to get even more engaged. That's what this
That's
this
awesome.
new game is, the new Taibbo is all about. It's giving people a chance to and really engage with me along with the game themselves. Because
Absolutely.
most games, because most games, kids are sitting down going like this.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
this game, they got to get up and they got to move. They got to jump. They got to kick. They got to. I mean, they got to compete against themselves. I mean,
Love it.
it's really. I think
I
it's the
love it.
best.
I love it, and I think like, and it still has your soul. It still has your spirit. Your Billy Blanksness is still in this game. Now, just I want to sidetrack to a question of like, what is a fitness trend that you can't stand today? Like, is there something out there that people are doing that you just can't stand? I mean, because you're a man of just like you've been doing Taibbo because Taibbo works, and we know Taibbo works. Is there something out there that just you're just like, I can't believe people fall for this? Is there something like that out there right now?
Well, I think for exercise program,
Yeah.
I don't condemn any exercise program. Only
Right.
thing I do is I condemn if a person says this: fitness is fun and it's easy. I don't
Uh,
like that.
I don't know, man.
I don't.
I played your game, bro. I think it's kind of fun.
I think it's fun. Listen,
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. He said fitness is fun.
look, well, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fun part of it. It's like, whoa, I'm sweating, I'm working hard, I'm doing this. That's the
Right.
fun part. When people say, well, I feel like I'm not even working out. How can you be
Right.
in a place doing fitness and feel like you're not even working out? I don't like when
Yeah.
people say that. I like to hear
Yeah.
people say, you know what, this game is fun. It's a challenge. I
Mm,
believe when you put a challenge to a person, they
mm,
say, "Come on, bring it."
yeah.
Right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
that's what Billy Blanks is all about is stepping out and challenging people and giving people a chance
Absolutely.
to see how much
For sure.
authority and power they have. And that's what this game is going to do. It's going to give
Mm,
kids, it's going to give adults a chance to see how much they have, how much coordination they have with their body, how much they can control their body, and how they can gain, how they can get better, and how they can increase and have fun at the same time. That's to
absolutely.
me is
Yeah.
awesome.
For sure. And like, imagine we had this in the 90s. Could you imagine what Taibo would look like now if this was how you started it?
Well, can you imagine having this in the '90s? You have your own spar. I like to have your own sparring partner. Put
Oh
the
my
thing
goodness.
on,
Yeah.
you spar. Because sometimes it's hard to go to places and spar with people because everybody want to beat you up, right? But
Yeah,
I
I
can put
know.
that.
Yeah.
I can put the game on. I can
Yeah.
practice all my punches and kicks and get a great workout. We talking about. Then I can go inside the gym and say, "Let me hit the heavy bag. Let me hit the double end bag." I mean,
Yeah.
you can. This game is so exciting. I can't wait for kids to try it because they are going to go nuts.
Well, I definitely am going to throw that. I have a couple of headsets at home. I'm going to bring them to school and have the kids try them out in my classes because they already love you. So, yeah, I think they're going to love the game as well. And you know what I like about it too? Let me tell you what I found about it is that it's off to a great start. Like I played it a couple weeks ago, and I think I played an earlier version of it, and it has like a great base. And I think, like you're saying, it's a good intro to people getting into fitness. It's not overthought. It's not overcomplicated. It threw me off when the mitts were coming down like this because, like, as someone who used to fight, my coach never did this, and that was a whole new I'm like, wait, but I mean, but when you think about it, like if you're boxing someone, they're not just gonna throw at your face. They could throw low, and suddenly my brain's like, wait, I've never seen that in a VR fitness game. We've seen, I've played them all. Trust me, I've played all of them. I've never seen the like moving target like that, and it completely threw me for a loop. But I loved it. I thought that was great, and I think that is a great way to get people into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I mean, I did a movie, and it's coming out pretty soon. It's called Hands. It's a boxing
Mm.
movie, right? And so I took the game to the set, and I let the top stunt guy put it on and use it, and then I let one of the boxers put it on. He was like, "Oh my God, this is a good sparring partner. I can be warming up, even though I'm on the movie set. I can still be getting my training and everything in." So it was nice to hear the compliments that people when they put it on. They talk what they would say after they took the headset off. They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
like, "Man, that's like being in the gym." I said, "Yeah, you
yeah,
can go in the gym. You have everything that a boxer needs. You got the hand pads. You got me saying, 'Come on, watch it. Throw a little bit harder. You're not
yeah,
punching hard enough. Move this.'"
yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Mickael and the crew did an awesome job with this game, and I can't wait. I can't wait for the world to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about action movies or fitness infomercials. You know how like what we just did here, we had to stop and start. Which one has more stop and starts? Like doing a fitness infomercial or doing a movie?
When I do my fitness infomercial and I do
Mm,
video,
mm.
I don't do choreography.
Oh, interesting.
Only reason why I don't do choreography because I believe if I'm teaching choreography, I'm teaching myself. Has nothing to do with people. I
Yeah.
believe if I get out there on the floor and I'm going, "Hey guys, my name is Billy Banks. Today we're gonna be going through a workout called cardio burn, and today I'm gonna show you how to do all the basic moves." Then everybody has to have some self awareness. I said, now you're gonna find somebody in the room that might look like you. Pick that person keep your eyes on that person. I'll be up front leading you guys through the workout. And then we take off. Nobody in the room knows what I'm going to do. And that's what I like when I'm doing
just
Taibbo.
like
But when
just like
I
the
but
mitt that does this. It's the mitt
right,
all over again.
right. So it brings that self awareness to the
Right.
workout. It makes people go, whoa, I feel like Billy's in a room with me. And that's what I want people to feel. I want people to feel like when they put on the headset, I want them to feel like he's right here helping me
Right.
be the best that I can be. And that's the way, and that's what Taibbo was. When I'm doing a scene in a movie, okay, cut, go do it again. Cut, go do
Yeah.
it again. That's okay. I like that too. You got to be in shape. I learned that. When I did my
Yeah.
first movie, I thought it was easy. Yeah, it's not easy. Especially if you playing a lead in a movie and you got to do fight scenes over and over and over and over and over again. That you have to be in good shape. But it's a lot of fun for me. I love doing it, so I
That's
don't have a problem
awesome.
with it.
This question I have is for both you, Billy, and Mickael. As someone whose channel is dedicated to VR fitness, there are a lot of VR fitness apps that are already out there right now, and many of them have like really slick graphics and they have high intensity workouts. But honestly, Taibbo has always had like a different vibe, a different soul to it. In your opinion, what makes this VR version or this VR, I don't know if you want to call it a game or workout, feel different than other games that are already out there?
All right.
Well,
So, but if you don't,
go. You want to go first?
can yeah, I'd like to go first because a bit like Harry, I've been trying them all. That's where the process started. When I thought I'm going to make a game with Billy Blanks, first thing I thought is it's better be good, because if I come with something that is half baked, I'm going to be hurting, my performance, but also his name. So I played and I would say loved them all, some aspects of them, So the FitXR, Supernatural, Les Mills are like probably my top three in the genre. And I tried other variations, other ways of working out in VR. Uh, so I tried to identify what I loved the best, and started thinking like, okay, because I also have a Muay Thai background. I did 7 years of Muay Thai and I did a lot of sports. So I thought like, what kind of tools would I love to train with? And how can we improve a little bit on what's been done? So that's where those up and down mitts came up, and we have the zigzagging and like the snaking targets. But also, I thought I don't want to be pushing iron. I want this to be a game. So how about arcade elements? How about things that explode? How about things that hurt you? How about things that you need to get out of the way? And how about some ninja action? Like how about I'm being attacked by 10 guys from 10 different directions? And so we introduced the 360 degrees action as well, to feel like a ninja, not only like a boxer, but to push it a little bit farther. And all of that is really cool, but I also wanted to know how I'm doing. Like,
Mm,
am I improving through this game?
right.
And a lot of them like count calories, which I'm not very good at. So what I was most interested at is, am I doing my weight transfer well? Like, is my power increasing when I punch? Is my precision good? Because if you hit hard and you don't hit precise, that's probably worthless. Also, my injuries. I was working on my cardio. I lost 25 pounds, by the way, just playtesting this game. So
Mm,
that's sort of crazy to think about. But so my cardio was a big part of it. The stamina, like how far could I hold it? So, but also I needed it bite size. One thing that I saw in a lot of those VR fitness apps is that you went either from like a 1 minute very easy training to like 25 minutes of squats, and you never knew when clicking on it what you were going to get. So I inspired myself with a high intensity interval training as well, and I thought, okay, let's make it bite sized. Let's let the user decide how many of those small lessons they want to stack together and how long they want to play. And the result, amazingly, that we see in the Pico store right now is that we have amazing engagement. People play Tae Bo Reboot more minutes than any other game. Our average session is 30 minutes, which means that a lot of people play it for an hour and a half, while the average normal VR session is like 15 minutes. So these are crazy good numbers, and I think it's because of those elements of like bite size fitness, and also the way we sort of gamify the level. I call it like an Angry Bird system where you unlock the level, you can go replay them, do better next time. So it's a bit less confusing than just saying, okay, I want to do high intensity drill. What is that? I don't know. But I know that level 7 is my favorite and I'm going to play it again. So those elements with the stats that compiled over time, we thought could help an Olympic athlete improve their performance just as much as somebody that never worked out in their life, or an elderly that's trying to regain some flexibility and some quality of life. Billy, what do you think? What do you think of those tools that we brought?
Well, when I think of the game, what makes it so different than any other game is it also brings uh, camaraderie. It makes people compete against themselves. They can have a team. You can have a team. You can go up against tribal, like a tribal team where we all compete against each other, seeing who get the highest score. Yeah, your level changes. You can get different belts. You can get different. I mean, it shows you everything. Like when you go to a jujitsu studio or karate
Yeah.
studio, you get a belt, you go, whoa, that's awesome. I'm a green belt. In the game, once you reach a certain level, you go, whoa, I made this level. Then you go to the next level. Then you go to the next level. So the game is a game that challenges a person from not just the outside, but from the inside out. So it gives you everything that you need. So I always tell parents, this is gonna be a game that's gonna you always wanted your child up off the couch. This game is gonna make your child get up off the couch and give you a chance and all you a chance to join together and have your own little boot camp
See, I didn't
right
know
in
there
your
was
own home.
belts. I didn't know there was belts. Now you have my interest peaked. I'm very much a pat on the head. You did a good job kind of guy. So like the belt system is great for me. I think that's awesome. Now speaking of like that sort of like you've trained real fighters before. And people who need not just strength but stamina under pressure. Now, off camera, we talked to one of the producers who is a amateur boxer, and she was talking about her endurance. How do you see Taibbo VR helping someone build that kind of endurance, not just for fitness, but maybe even for a real fight?
It, it will definitely help them out because you can go to the gym and go into the heavy bag room, and you got a certain amount of punches that come up that you got to hit in a certain amount of time or to go away. And so, or you can go and hit the double end bag. Where the double end bag come back, you punching it. Next thing you know, you hit it, you lose all your money, and so it makes you want to come back and
It's my life.
focus in. So the focus of the game is cool. The fun of the game is cool. The work of the game is cool. It's giving people a chance to have everything that they ever wanted in the game. I think people, moms and dads and kids, gonna love this game.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing question, Harry, because we never speak about that, but built in the game, and especially built in the progression that we're releasing in America next month, it's called the Master of the Elements. So
Mm,
you'll get like a Book of Fire, Book of Ice, Book of Earth, and so on. And it's a really like a campaign. It's a journey. So
that's
you start
awesome.
with easy levels, slow music, and you go all the way to completely crazy action. Uh, but the way that it builds your stamina is really mimicked on a boxer's training.
Right.
It's meant to teach you to last 12 rounds.
Wow.
So you work in bouts of 3 minutes, you have a little breather, you work out again, but by the end of Master of the Elements, you should be able to stand in the ring for 12 rounds. And if
Wow.
you've ever been there, you know how tough that
I
is.
have, and I have been there. And like progressive overload is super important. I think it's something that's definitely overlooked. A lot of times, what'll happen with people who are developing games, especially fitness games, is that they're like, well, the player is moving, so they must be getting a workout. But that's not always the case. Like intention really matters with
Mm.
movement. You can't just like a lot of people will tell me like I play Beat Saber and I'm sweating. I'm like, yeah, well, I eat spicy ramen in my kitchen at 6 in the morning sometimes, and I'm sweating too. But that doesn't mean I'm getting a workout.
That's right.
Movement needs intention, and like having someone like Billy and having guys that are doing like the actual research behind like what movements matter, what movements are going to help you. That's super important. So I'm glad you talked about progressive overload because it's not just going to a menu and going, I have 10 minutes, I'll do 10 minutes. It's like whatever I did last time, I need to improve on it. It's just like at the gym. If I go to the gym and I'm hitting, 50 or like 50-pound dumbbells every single time. Eventually they're going to get too easy and I'm not going to get better. I'm just going to be like, the 50 pounds is 50 pounds, is, it just feels a little lighter. So you got to keep pushing it. So absolutely, I think that's really cool. Billy, Mickael, it's been an absolute honor talking with you today. Your impact on the fitness world is undeniable. It's exciting to see you continuing to evolve with Tae Bo Reboot. Whether people are throwing punches in their living room or strapping on a headset, your mission to help others move and feel empowered is still going strong. Even today, I never would have guessed that. Please tell me what else we got to expect from you guys.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm ready. All right. Yeah, I am happy to because I'm really excited about everything happening. So without trying, we sort of built a universal product. You put that on the 2 years old and they start punching. It's hilarious. But also the elderly love it. And along those lines, we discovered that it could actually help prevent dementia, Alzheimer, and now they're studying it at the Douglas Center of the Mickael University in Canada. So it might be deployed to anti-aging clinics, which is completely unexpected.
Wow.
Then we had a meeting with the White House and spoke with a bunch of people and became National Youth Sports Strategy Champion. So now we're taking this program to schools, trying to help kids flip their health around and build the self-confidence that they need to become what they want to become in life. And we have things happening with vets that are being rehabilitated after injury as well. So this Taibbo thing is an awesome game, but we're realizing more and more that it's much more than a game. And we think, just like Billy, when he changed the world the first time, it has the potential to change the world another time with just like the right medium for this generation. And this is what really excites me. What do you see when you see the future, Billy?
Well, when I see the future, I see a reboot of people's lives, a life to get revived into a fitness program that will help not just young people, but everybody. It gives them opportunity to really help themselves be the best they can be, and that's what to me fitness is all about. It's teaching people how to come from the inside out.
Absolutely. And Billy, thank you again for your time, your energy, and for always continuing to push the boundaries of what fitness can look like. It's
Thank you,
been an absolute honor to talk to both of you, actually.
thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much.
Pleasure.